So let me take you to the middle of Missouri, 2010, where a guy named Kevin Myers is about to make a decision that will alter the course of his life forever. Kevin's just an average guy, except for one thing. He's been battling addiction since forever. And it's not just any addiction. We're talking heroin, a drug that's been eating him alive for years. He's in the thick of it, desperate for another hit. Now, anyone who's ever been hooked on opiates will tell you, withdrawal is no joke. It's like the flu, times 100. That's where Kevin's head was at when he made the choice that would change everything. One day, strung out and desperate, Kevin hatches a plan to get some fast cash. It's New Year's Eve. He's hanging out with a few other guys who are all dope sick like him. Together, they decide to rob a neighbor. Not just any neighbor. No, this is someone Kevin's known his whole life. The guy even used to help him out, gave him odd jobs, paid him cash when he needed it. But on this night, none of that matters to Kevin. All he sees is an opportunity. Kevin knocks on the door, bandana over his face, and waits. The door creaks open, and for a second, it's like slow motion. His neighbor, eyes wide, realizes what's happening. He tries to slam the door, but Kevin and the crew kick it in. The neighbor hits the ground, pleading, "Don't hurt me." Kevin swears they won't. He ties the man up and starts ransacking the place. At first, it seems like just another robbery. Kevin finds the guy's wallet, $50. He takes it, pockets the cash, and keeps moving. But then, chaos. One of Kevin's friends screams that the neighbor has a weapon, and before Kevin knows it, there's gunfire. In a blink, Kevin's world shifts from a robbery gone wrong to something far worse. A man's life is slipping away. When the dust settles, Kevin is standing over his neighbor's body, blood pooling on the floor. He can hardly process what's happened. He runs out of the house, throws up all over himself, and lights a cigarette. The reality not fully hitting him yet. He doesn't even hear the police cars when they show up later. 3 days later, though, they're at his front door. Kevin, a guy just trying to feel normal again, has crossed a line, and now he's got to face the consequences. Fast forward, Kevin's sitting in prison, recounting this whole story. 12 years in, and he still dreams about that night. Just 2 dreams, but vivid, burned into his memory. It's clear Kevin feels the weight of his actions. He tells the parole board he's remorseful, but prison changes people. You stop crying after a decade behind bars. His body doesn't even know how to cry anymore. Kevin knows he did wrong. He wakes up every day in a prison cell, a constant reminder of the life he took and the one he lost along the way. But remorse? That's a tough call when you've been conditioned to survive in a place where showing emotion is a sign of weakness. Kevin doesn't cry in his parole hearings, not because he doesn't care, but because prison has hardened him in ways he never expected. And that's just the start of Kevin's journey through the criminal justice system. Life in prison? It's rough. Kevin quickly learns that to survive, he's got to align himself with the right people. Gangs are the key to survival here. Family values, that's the gang he ends up with. Not the biggest, not the baddest, but they've got a reputation. And Kevin, he's got to earn his place. It's not just about the violence, though there's plenty of that. There's a hierarchy, a social structure, and Kevin's got to figure out where he fits. And let me tell you, it's not easy. When he first arrives at Jeff City Correctional Center, a level 5 facility, it's like walking into a different world, a gladiator school. And Kevin, he's got to learn fast. His initiation into family values, it's brutal. Kevin finds himself in fight after fight, trying to prove himself, trying to survive. One of the most intense moments comes when he's sent after a guy named Tiny, a nickname that couldn't be more misleading. Tiny's built like a tank, but Kevin's got no choice. He's told to take Tiny down, and it doesn't go well. Tiny beats the living hell out of Kevin, leaving him in the hole for 50 days, nursing bruises and wounds. But that's life inside, violent, unpredictable, and full of split-second decisions that could mean the difference between survival and, well, something much worse. Kevin's time behind bars is marked by constant violence, sure, but there's another side to prison life that Kevin experiences, a side that's not often talked about. The LGBTQ+ community inside prison, specifically trans women, are some of the most marginalized and at-risk people in the system. Kevin, he gets along with them. In fact, he describes them as some of the coolest people in there. They provide a sense of relief from the hyper-masculine world that dominates the prison yard. Kevin's story offers a rare glimpse into this hidden world. A world where survival isn't just about who you fight or who you align with, but who you find a connection with. Even in a place as brutal as prison, humanity shines through. Now, let's fast forward to the worst thing Kevin ever witnessed inside, a knife fight at Licking Correctional. The details are straight out of a horror film. Blood everywhere, two men stabbing each other over and over again, too stubborn to hit the emergency button that would stop it all. Kevin watches the whole thing unfold from his cell, the screams, the blood splattering on the walls, the gruesome reality of what life in prison can become. In the end, Kevin's story is about more than just one bad decision. It's about addiction, violence, and survival, but it's also about remorse and redemption. After 12 years in prison, Kevin knows he can't undo what he's done. He can't bring back the life he took, but he's trying to make peace with it in whatever way he can. In the next episode, we'll dig deeper into Kevin's life behind bars, the relationships he's built, the fights he's fought, and the lessons he's learned. And this is what Kevin looks like in real life. Find out Kevin's entire true story by listening to our exclusive interview with him. Search for Voices of a Killer wherever you get your podcasts.